Hey, my name's Derek, and I'm going to react to this iCarly episode that was quietly banned. It wasn't just banned, Toby. It was quietly banned. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe they just didn't make a big deal out of it, or they wanted to hide it because it's some of those creepy, like, Snyder pervert things, probably. That's crazy. I thought you were getting
When it comes to censorship on
I said maybe.
Nickelodeon, each show seems to handle it a little differently. Drake and Josh has a number of
Drake and Josh have banned episodes too, apparently.
episodes that have been completely banned from streaming services, including the pilot episode, Dune Buggy, Guitar, Number One Fan,
Weird.
Driver's License, Blues Brothers, and The Gary Grill.
Why were all of those banned? That doesn't make any sense. Actually, it probably makes sense if I knew more about it, but I don't. But those are good episodes.
Which means over 12% of the series can't be watched on streaming. Victorious, on the other hand, hasn't banned entire episodes, but instead censors individual moments and scenes that are considered too controversial, while leaving the rest of the episode up on streaming platforms. For example, in Stage Fighting, they cut the line when Andre says, "Play that funky music, white girl," to Tori. And in The Diddly Bops, they actually bleep the word boobs when Kat goes up to Psychowitz and Tori and says, "Jade got her boobs stuck in the hamburger."
What? Okay.
Hey, you better
That doesn't
come help
make any
Jade.
sense.
What? She can't get her in the hamburger.
They censored she got her boobs stuck in a hamburger in a different episode. I don't know what the context is, but that was blurped out.
Pardon?
How did Jade fit her in this hamburger?
Can you imagine if they censored the word boobs from every Drake and Josh episode as well? It would have sounded like Megan's nickname for her brothers was a lot more inappropriate.
Those dumb.
But compared to Drake and Josh and Victorious, iCarly has remained almost censor-free in modern times. The one exception for the past few years has been I Lost My Mind, which was pulled from reruns and streaming services.
Okay,
it was
but why?
most likely removed for its insensitive portrayal of mental illness, since the episode features Sam checking herself into a mental hospital after kissing Freddy, and various signs can be seen on the walls, such as "Friends don't kill friends" and "Urine is for restrooms."
Urine is for restrooms. So they did quietly ban another episode because they think it's making fun of mental illness, but it's the one where Sam kisses Freddy and then checks herself into a mental hospital. And then on the wall there's "Urine is for restroom" and "Friends don't kill friends." Like, but to me that just sounds like shit that would be there. Like, unironically.
But I noticed recently that Paramount Plus has quietly removed another episode of iCarly from streaming. I Toe Fat Cakes. That's right, the episode where Carly's in a bathtub and gets her toes stuck in a faucet. This was probably Dirty Dan's favorite episode in the whole iCarly series, so it probably breaks his heart that it's no longer on streaming.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing in the year 2025, it was probably considered too inappropriate. Or maybe it was because of the episode's other main plotline, which involves international smuggling. So today,
But she was smuggling candy. That does not even count.
we're gonna take a look back at this controversial episode and decide whether it was truly ban-worthy or if Paramount Plus is just doing way too much. As always,
Okay, I'm down to find out. So this wasn't like Nickelodeon that did it, it was Paramount.
if you like this episode, please give us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just go to the local mattress store and fall asleep on one of the display units if you do. And if you
No good.
have any other episodes or shows you want me to cover, let me know in the
I thought this stick figure is wearing a house. Like, for its bottom part. But I guess those are cargo pants.
comments. All right, let's dive in. So we start off with Carly and Sam doing an iCarly webcast, and Miranda Cosgrove looks like she's kind of over this shit before the episode even starts. So they make Gibby fly with some bird wings, and of course, he falls and hurts himself. So they announced that Sam hasn't gotten in trouble for 10 whole
Old
days,
memes.
and for some reason, Gibby is holding the camera now. I guess he's fine. I don't
Yeah,
know, they
he's
were
okay.
dragging his body like he couldn't get up a second ago, and now he's just doing all these camera movements as if he's Freddy. Spencer pops out as the fake mayor of Seattle, and I like how he's wearing a sash that just says
This sash is pretty great.
sash on it. That shit's funny. And it's kind of like Andre from Victorious wearing a shirt that says final shirt in the episode The Breakfast Bunch, which if you haven't seen it yet, I just did a video covering that one. Check it out. The gang gives Sam some awards for her achievement, most
Crazy.
notably a VIP ticket to go visit the Canadian Fat Cake Factory. Sam is
dang.
extremely excited because Canadian fat cakes are supposedly way better than American fat cakes. They're
What's a fat cake? I actually have to look this up. I don't know what fat cake is. A fat cake. Oh. Oh, apparently it's a fictional cake. Okay.
so good, in
doesn't
fact,
exist.
that they're not even allowed to be sold in the USA. And wait, how did that Canadian Fat Cakes text pop up when Sam hit the applause button on the remote? Surely they would have had to pre-program that, right? What if Sam just hit the applause button randomly and the fucking thing popped up? Then Spencer
She was
announces
ready.
to the others that his trousers are too tight in the crotch area because this scene didn't have any uncomfortable moments yet, and that just wasn't okay with Dirty Dan. He thought it needed at least one.
My mayor trousers are too tight in the crotch.
Cut to everyone getting ready
He's
to
right,
leave for
though.
Canada, except Carly because she has a date with Lance.
I already bailed on Lance twice, and he's really cool. And if I bail again, he's gonna think I don't like him, and I really do like him. Besides, I haven't kissed a guy in 4 months. I'm getting itchy.
Look, it's kind of weird how open Carly is about how down bad she is right in front of her brother.
Yeah.
Imagine I had a sister and I said, yo, sis, I haven't gotten my dick sucked in a week, man. I'm horny. That shit's weird.
So
That is
what are you gonna
kinda
do till
weird.
then?
I forgot how many, like, not even hidden adult moments there are in this show.
Probably take a long hot bath, and I'll blow my hair out. Maybe I'll do my nails.
Hello.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gone.
Kinda weird, because in season 2, episode 2, I stage an intervention. Carly tells Sam to take a shower instead of a bath, because baths are gross and you just sit there in your own wet dirt.
I
Wow. She didn't write this show.
need a bath. Ew, don't take a bath. Take a shower.
What's wrong with taking a bath?
You sit there in your own wet dirt.
Gross.
Yeah.
So, Carly was straight up disgusted by baths in the past, but now she thinks taking a bath is a great way to get ready for a date. Look, you guys know I hate it when shows break their own lore. It's not that fucking difficult. Just have a binder of preferences that each character has stated in the past and stick to them. It's not that difficult. Cut to Carly in the bathtub because Dirty Dan couldn't wait another second to get her undressed, I'm sure. And it's obvious with this scene that Dan Schneider has clearly never had a girlfriend or lived with a woman. Yeah, I know he's married. Get over it. Because the way Carly has her long hair just down, chilling in the bubbles, is not how any woman would be taking a bath. I mean, every
Yeah.
time I spied on my neighbor through her bathroom window, she put her hair up in a
Come on.
bun to keep it out of the dirty soap water. And I guess
Nah, you can't be saying stuff like that. You can't be saying stuff like that. Fucking weirdo.
Dan just wouldn't know that. But in reality,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
because Dan Schneider was strictly against girls putting their hair up on set, even when it makes complete fucking sense, like when they're in a bath.
That's strange. That's really strange. I didn't, of all the Dan Schneider lore that I've consumed, Aaron, this one's really weird. He didn't want any female characters or women on set to have their hair up, like, at all, even when it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, no bras in space. That's a weird one too.
Tub or working with high-powered construction tools, as seen in the episode of Victorious, Terror on Cupcake Street. When the scene first starts, Carly can actually be seen watching an episode of FBI's Most Wanted, doing
Good
a
episode.
segment on none other than The Theater Thug, which is a direct reference to the Drake and Josh episode Theater Thug, which I just absolutely love.
That's some good cross lore.
Carly's flipping through channels on the TV, which first off, who in God's name has a
Twinjas?
TV next to their bathtub? And she ends up seeing herself as Megan in the Peruvian Puff Pepper episode of Drake and Josh, which just doesn't make any goddamn sense. She keeps flipping through channels and ends up on the Vintage Network and sees a scene from the Dick Van Dyke Show where the actress gets her
Nice.
toe stuck in a bathtub faucet. She decides to try it out for herself, thinking it's a silly thing, and of course, her big toe gets stuck too, causing her to panic. And you know what? I've actually seen people defend Dirty Dan when it comes to this scene, or this episode in general. People seem to take the stance that the episode should be immune from critique since Dan didn't make up the scenario. And it's a
guess.
nod to a
I'm gonna disagree with that because the actor in the Dick Van Dyke episode was of age, and I'm assuming that she's just a teenager in this episode. I actually don't know how old she was when this was filmed, but assumption's pretty good. It's a pretty good assumption.
really old TV
Or at least it was supposed to be implied that she was a teenager, even if she wasn't at the time. So it's still creepy.
show. And in a way, I can understand this argument. It is true that Dan likes to recreate scenes from old TV shows, like the conveyor belt scene from I Love Lucy in the Drake and Josh episode I Love Sushi. But in this case, it's not a good excuse. In fact,
Yeah.
I strongly encourage anyone who's defending Dan Schneider to go back and actually watch the source material he's referencing. Seriously, you should watch it. It's a good episode, and that way you can make up your own mind and decide for yourself whether or not Dan's a creep for this one. The whole thing's on YouTube.
Okay, I'll do that. I will watch the episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show, season 4, episode 27. I can read.
It's pretty funny, and I'm gonna link it in the description. I have a feeling if you do watch the original episode, then you'll agree with me that Dan bought a one-way ticket to Creepfoot Village by making this atrocity. But just to go over a few key points. In the original episode, the actress who gets her toe stuck in the bathtub is a grown adult. She was 28
Hey, I knew it. She's a grown-ass adult.
years old. That's older than I am. And I was surprised to see when I actually watched the full episode that almost the entire plotline about her being stuck plays out from the husband's perspective, who is on the other side of the locked bathroom door.
Would you come in here for a minute? Can't you open the door?
It's locked, honey. If you want me, you'll have to get out of the tub.
I can't,
Why can't you?
because I'm stuck.
Linda, how can you be stuck in a bathtub? Is it that narrow?
You almost never
Just
see
that
the
narrow.
woman in the tub at all. To be exact, she can be seen in the tub with her toe stuck for less than 1 minute
That was a good joke. That was terrible. That was a terrible but good joke.
of screen time. And when she's finally shown in the bathtub, she's fully clothed. Now, let's compare all of that to Dirty Dan's version. First off, Carly is supposed to be a high schooler, and Miranda Cosgrove was freshly 18 when this was filmed. And in addition to being
Sus.
younger than the original actress, she is shown naked in the first bathtub scene, only covered up by the bubbles, when the original actress was only ever seen fully clothed. And the total screen time we see Carly in the bathtub is almost 7 whole minutes. 6 minutes and 49 seconds to be exact, compared to less
he got out the timer.
than 60 seconds in the original episode. That's a 617.54% increase in bathtub
shit.
screen time. So even if this was all just intended to be a respectful tribute to an old show, there's no denying that Dan made it more uncomfortable and creepy
Yeah, he's probably trying to push the envelope of what's acceptable.
than it ever needed to be. And let's just all be honest with ourselves for a moment here. The Dick Van Dyke Show had 5 seasons and a total of 158 episodes. And yet this was the one? This was the only one out of all 158 that Dan decided he had to pay
Yeah,
respects to
that's
and
kinda
honor
weird.
with a modern day version? Do you really think it's because this was just comedy gold compared to the other 157?
I don't know. I'm not a Dick Van Dyke Show expert, but I'm just gonna say he chose this one because he's a weirdo. That's just me.
Episodes, or was it the foot? I think you know
It's the
the
foot.
answer. And the Paramount Plus programmers know the answer too, which is why they quietly removed this episode from the streaming platform, although it could still be
Yeah.
purchased from Apple TV for 99 cents, which is
Hey.
about 0.24 cents per second of bathtub screen.
I don't know why We needed to know that, but good job.
time in the episode. I don't know if that matters. It just seems kind of crazy to me how cheap it is. So
Yeah, $1 an episode is. I don't know how much it should cost for an episode. But either way, agreed.
Carly panics and realizes that whoever finds her stuck in there will find her naked. So she reaches for a sweater to put on as we cut to everyone else at the Canadian fat cake factory. Sam leans up close to the conveyor belt of fat cakes without any kind of barrier blocking the food products. She could sneeze right on them. Her hair could shed onto them. She's not wearing a hairnet of any kind. This has got to be violating all kinds of food safety laws.
So, what are the odds that it's her trying to smuggle in these fat kits and cakes into the country is why it's banned, or is the weird foot thing on why it's banned?
Straight up, what is the point of the factory workers being dressed like that if they just let random visitors off the street come walk right up and potentially contaminate all their product?
Now, which of you Americans would like to be the first to try a Canadian fat cake?
Hey, I wouldn't mind being the first.
Yeah, violence.
May I?
I like how Sam says, "May I?" all politely, after beating the absolute shit out of Gibby. I do not like the way she's eating the fat cake, but I do gotta give props to Jeanette McCurdy as an actress, because if you look closely, she actually sheds a tear while eating the fat cake. Fucking phenomenal. Cut back to Carly, whose phone is a...
Yeah, but now, because of the book, we all know that that tear was trauma. That tear was trauma.
across the room, and damn, their bathroom's big as hell. It's
Yeah.
also the same bathroom in
I don't like the idea that when you're pooping in that bathroom, you know, hypothetically, you have to be looking at the tub.
tub used in the Victorious episode I Scream for Kesha, which that episode was heavily censored on Paramount Plus as well, completely removing the bathtub scene entirely. So really, any production that uses this bathroom set is cursed, and it should never...
When did she get a shirt on and how? I mean, I'm not complaining, right? But how?
Never be used again. Carly tries throwing something at her phone, and is Carly slow? Does she think her phone is gonna get teleported towards her by throwing an object at it? I don't get it.
Yeah,
Cut back to the fat cake factory where Sam is committing more health code violations, putting her mouth right on the nozzle of an icing bag. Sam ends up sucking it all up before the tour guide can even give instructions on how to fill a fat cake with icing. Classic. Back in the bathroom, Carly lassos her phone and pulls it towards her somehow. Impressive, I'll admit. Then she immediately drops it in the water, breaking it, making the entire last scene with her a complete waste of time. Back with the others in Canada, they're getting ready to cross the border when Gibby pulls out a Canadian fat cake and the others tell him to get rid of it. They call it contraband and say they'll get nailed by the feds because you can't cross the border with Canadian fat cakes. A drug-sniffing dog then starts sniffing up Sam, who clearly has lots of something hidden underneath her clothes. And you're telling me the dog can sniff goddamn fat cakes? Shouldn't he be trained to sniff drugs and bombs? They really care about fat cakes? The
Dude,
Call
they
of
care.
Duty Modern Warfare 2 nuke sound effect goes off, and Sam gets in trouble for having 25 kilos worth of fat cakes on her.
What?
That's crazy. How'd that happen?
Tactical nuke incoming!
And it's nice that they use the same sound so we can relate to it.
That's way more than she had strapped to her body.
No, you just don't know how it works, okay? This is movie logic.
But okay, whatever. Meanwhile, the highly trained, highly professional drug-sniffing dog has been left unattended with Gibby? That's pretty irresponsible of the cops. He could have been Heisenberg
good
for all
boy.
they know.
Dogs really like you. Yeah, dogs and girls with low self-esteem.
Calm down, Gibby. You're too young to be making that joke.
What? Gibby literally dated a beautiful, successful model, but whatever.
Maybe she had low self-esteem.
Canadian cop mentions that Sam called him a wazbag,
Called me a dumb wazbag.
a term
Yeah.
also used in the Breakfast Bunch episode of Victorious.
Morning, Wazbags!
And I always thought it was so silly and fake edgy how the iCarly kids would use made-up slang words in place of curse words like chiz and waz. Now that the fat cakes have been confiscated, everyone is free to go back to the USA as long as they show their IDs and passports.
That's you?
Yeah, I know, the long hair was a bad call.
This is kind of funny because in real life,
Yeah, that's kind of silly.
Jerry Trainer keeps his hair on the longer side
Yeah, look at him. I like this guy as an actor, though. I can't be mad at him.
nowadays.
Not too mad,
When
I hope.
Gibby's passport is scanned, the full name Orenthal Gibby pops up on screen, which is simply
Orenthal.
incorrect. His full name is Orenthal Gibson.
Olympia Municipal
Yeah.
Courthouse?
To Carly Shay, Samantha Puckett, Fredward Benson, and Orenthal Gibson.
And somehow,
Orenthal Gibson, man. Also, legitimately, I think a little pear-shaped phone would probably sell well if Apple did it. With their off-brand pear, the affordable people's phone. I don't want to give them any ideas, but I do think it would sell well.
it seems like I remember the character traits of the iCarly cast better than the writers themselves. Sam actually isn't allowed to re-enter America because she doesn't even have a single form of ID.
You can't re-enter America unless you can prove you're a U.S. citizen. Can't you just ask her some questions so she can prove it? Fine. Who was the first U.S. president? The father of our country?
Abraham Franklin?
I would
Got
argue
it.
this does, in fact, prove she's an American citizen
Nailed it.
because only Americans are known for being that stupid. Also,
Wow.
for that matter, how did Sam
That's
get
rough.
into Canada without any forms of ID? You
Hey, back in the day, you didn't need it. Actually, I don't know when this was, so.
generally have to show ID regardless of which side of the border you're crossing. So how the hell did she even get here? Cut back to Carly still in the bathtub, screaming and hollering. Miss Benson hears all the ruckus and goes
Yeah,
to
finally.
investigate. And to be honest, if I was in trouble, I wouldn't mind her being the one to come rescue me. She's a get shit done kind of gal, and I'm into it. Miss Benson comes barging into the bath.
We gotta love the fact that she just barges into the bathroom. You also gotta love that she had underwear labeled for each day of the week. Takes dedication.
Room and starts yanking on Carly's foot to get her unstuck. And then suddenly, Lance barges in too.
Hey, is everything all right?
Lance!
Sorry, I heard screaming, so I thought I should come up.
Put your hands down!
To be honest,
your
that's an
hands
appropriate reaction for a strange man busting into the
Yeah.
apartment. Quick sidebar. Lance has never been here before. Lance doesn't know if this is even Carly's apartment for sure, but he
Yep.
felt confident enough to let himself into the apartment, go upstairs to the bathroom, and then let himself
Oh, that means he's been there before. Bow, chicken wow. No, I'm just kidding. That's inappropriate.
into the bathroom. Carly says hey to her date and pulls out her other soapy leg trying to look all cute. And I just hate it. I don't like it. Back with the gang in Canada, Gibby has a plan for
Yeah.
smuggling Sam back into the country. He just zipped her up into a red suitcase. Can she even breathe in there? I definitely
Maybe.
watched a crime
It's all
video where
maybe.
someone died from being zipped up
Oh,
into a
shit.
suitcase. But whatever.
Oh my gosh, it's Gibby! Can I have your autograph? Please, please, please!
Here it goes again.
Let me just do it.
Look, these guys are a bunch of fucking dumbasses. Why would all three of them walk away leaving the suitcase unattended? The kid only asked for Gibby's autograph. Spencer and Freddie could have
Hey, you know what? No, I'm happy, bro. I'm happy. I'm glad they all went over there to do it.
stayed with the suitcase, or even if they felt the need to walk over there, bring the fucking suitcase with you. Also, Gibby takes a picture with this kid right in front of the no picture sign. So of
Bro.
course, a
Hey, he's just a badass, okay? That can't be helped. He's just that good. Dude, he's a rebel.
random man mistakes his identical red suitcase for Gibby's and accidentally kidnaps Sam while the others head back to the US without her. Back with Carly, she's still stuck in the bathtub, but goes on her date with Lance anyway as they eat Chinese food together in the bathroom.
In the clip, I actually thought that was her brother because it wasn't clear. And now they're just chilling, having Chinese food. But I thought her brother was doing that, which was wholesome, and this is not wholesome.
There's also a mechanic there with a power saw, and they kiss with their Chinese food lips right in front of him.
Yeah.
Then he nearly kills them with the sparks from the power tools. The episode then ends with Sam getting taken on a flight to Malaysia, which is never resolved or brought up again. How the fuck did she get home? She still doesn't have an ID, but now she's in a foreign land.
She gets deported. She got deported.
Without her friends. Also, you can see a Coca-Cola ad while the flight from Air Malaysia lands.
Good job.
This has got to be one of the only mentions of a real-world brand in any Dan Schneider show ever. I'm actually shocked that they left this in the episode. And something kind of interesting, this is one of the only episodes in the whole iCarly series where it ends with Carly and some guy happily dating. And yet this Lance guy is never seen or mentioned ever again, which kind of makes no sense.
Makes perfect sense. They're gonna have her being not single because, you know, teenage gooners. That's why.
Because this bathtub date seems to be going extremely well. But I guess the episode also ends with Sam stuck on a flight to Malaysia, presumably with no passport of any kind.
All right, well, that was that. I mean, yeah, like, subscribe, you know, leave a comment on what you'd like to see next time, but they just quietly banned this one. I mean, I admit it's kind of weird in context, but it isn't like, it's not terrible unless you're looking at it through the eyes of the creeper, which I guess you would have to do. You know, I guess you'd have to do that. But, if it wasn't Dan Schneider making it, I would consider it to be innocent. But it was, so it's not.